Is crypto teetering on the precipice of a huge pullback, or are we just setting up for the next move upwards? All eyes are on Jerome Powell to see if the Fed is planning rate cuts, but should Bitcoin even care? The US Treasury Secretary is flip flopping on Bitcoin, but you know who wasn't flipping or flopping? We aren't. Now, into our ninth year of covering the space, we got the latest Bitcoin, blockchain, and AI news you can use because one of us is the Jews. On this, the other one is an uncircumcised heathen, episode number 787 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Honestly, I don't know what's with the junk in your trunk, Travis. I was just making a joke.
I am a heathen, according to the Torah or whatever.
Well, you're okay
I'm a
in my
heathen.
book. You're okay in my book, sir.
Okay, well that's all that matters is the book of Joel.
Actually, there is a book of Joel.
Is there for real?
Yeah, it's in the Old Testament. He is a minor prophet, which maybe now you'll connect the dots.
I thought it was a book of Job. Is there really a book of Joel?
Yeah, there's a book of Joel. It's 4 chapters. He's a minor prophet in the Old Testament, which is why I use the username minor prophet on a lot of socials.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a short book.
I knew you were a. You've used that before, and I got that, but I don't remember there being a book Joel.
Yeah, it's 4 chapters. It's really short, but it's packed. It's like end time stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's in the Old Testament.
It's Old Testament. Yep, it's in the prophets.
Ruth or something. The book of Ruth.
There is a book of Ruth.
I remember the book of Ruth.
Yeah, it's the only book.
Weird why there's a book of Ruth, but there's not a book of Mary Magdalene. They didn't include her book. They're like,
There's no book.
Hear what you want to say.
There's no book of Travis either.
There's not, but that is a travesty.
Welcome, friends.
A couple books of Enoch, but they didn't make it into the Bible either.
They didn't make the cut. No, the council said no. We don't think so.
Council of Nicaea was like, we don't want people to know about all this.
We don't, or maybe they felt it wasn't inspired. I mean, it could be either way, right? It could be they didn't want people to know, or
considering that Christianity, when they put the Bible together, is a control mechanism.
One could come to that conclusion.
But I do think there's lots of truths in there, but I do think they used it as a control mechanism, clearly, because you're a witch, we're burning you at the stake. So they definitely did some control with it. Now, a lot of the stuff's clearly divinely inspired. And this is not the Bad Christian Podcast, though.
That was actually the inspiration for the name of the show, was the Bad Christian. I don't know if those guys are still going. They might have gotten in a fight and broken up, but we're still here.
Yeah, we're still here.
Welcome to those of you that are also still here with us. It is, as of this recording, the 20th of August in the year 2025. This is the Bad Crypto Podcast, and we're going to take a look at what's happening in the crypto markets as soon as I can find the link to the website and share it here. For those of you that are listening to the audio, well, you're not missing anything other than the visuals. And the visuals are CoinGecko.com right now. The market cap, $3.937 trillion. Bitcoin, 57% dominance, sitting at 113,878. Nice pullback here. Ethereum, 43.15. XRP, 292. BNB, one of the few that did not dramatically pull back, 184. Tron, 35 cents. Dogecoin, 21.7 cents. Who got the biggest win this week? OKB, up 43% over the last 7 days. That's a big win.
That's what I also say, like when my girlfriend's complaining at me, I'm like, okay, B. I'm having a hard time. I gotta close something out here. Go ahead and continue. My mouse keeps freezing because I think I have too much shit open right now.
All right, close your stuff off there, Travis. We'll take a look at this here. Also up this week, Mantle, Chainlink, Leo, of course, a down week overall in crypto. You can see it's red everywhere. Bonk, Pudgies, Athena, Sky, all down 15% or so. And some would say that this is a very healthy, natural, normal pullback after the run that we've had, setting us up for the next run up. Others think that the bleeds are directly related to what is coming up here. Let's take a quick look at the treasuries, Travis, and see strategy acquired more Bitcoin this week, up to 629,376. Metaplanet also acquired, and a number of others. This is a great site because you could see who is recently acquired Bitcoin for their treasuries in the top 100 by the little green arrow that's going up there. Meanwhile, many are putting the blame on the crypto crash at the feet of US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Remember last week he said he put out a tweet that basically said that the government was not going to be buying any Bitcoin. And the market went, what? What about the Bitcoin reserve? And then he clarifies with this tweet here: Bitcoin that has been forfeited to the federal government will be the foundation of the strategic Bitcoin reserve that President Trump established in his March executive order. In addition, Treasury is committed to exploring budget neutral pathways to acquire more Bitcoin to expand the reserve and to execute on the president's promise to make the United States the Bitcoin superpower of the world. So he took us from 121,000 to just under 119,000 within 40 minutes. And now we are sitting much lower at 113, 114,000.
Yeah, thanks a lot, douche. But because that's what's really interesting. What are they going to do? Are they going to come out and say, yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the printer, go brr, and we're going to buy $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin? You think they would say that? No, they want to buy Bitcoin at cheaper prices, right? That's the scenario we're getting in right here, Joel. Is that you got companies like BlackRock, right, that have so much Bitcoin, and what we're seeing is I've been kind of watching it and we're having conversations on some of the spaces that I've been on, and so BlackRock's selling out of their ETF, buying more Ethereum, and it looks like they want to dump the price of Bitcoin so they can get more of it and maybe even put pressure on Michael Saylor to have to sell some down the road. So there's a potential kind of a thing where it's like, is that the route they're going to go down? Because it would be very profitable for BlackRock. It would suck for the industry. But
Yeah,
when does BlackRock care? They
I
got
asked
10,
I
12
asked
cartels.
our resident MicroStrategy expert about that. John Lee Dumas, who is a guest on the show, he said that it's so much BS. He says it's so laughable. He's absolutely torn apart these rumors. Says it's not even possible. Basically, is the long story short. I don't know the actual long story itself, but there's
Sounds like famous. It sounds like potential famous last words, but we'll let it ride. We'll let JLD get the last word on that one.
yeah, I guess anything's possible, but I have a feeling that Saylor is visionary. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he is not sweating this at all.
All right, I hope not. I hope not. I'm not a big fan of BlackRock. I think that the more Bitcoin that they acquire, the more dangerous it is for the industry potentially.
I don't disagree. They're not the good guys. You know,
They got
when
like 3% of all the Bitcoin already.
we can cheer on financial institutions adopting Bitcoin as proof of concept, but at the same time you're welcoming the devil to the table.
Yeah.
And Bitcoin doesn't need it. Bitcoin doesn't care. That's kind of the bottom line. That if you look at the history of Bitcoin, Bitcoin really doesn't care. It's going to do what it does anyhow. But people are
Let me add
watching.
that before we jump into the next story. Let me
Yeah.
tie a little bow on that because I think that potentially Bitcoin has two enemies, at least that's I've been identified. One, BlackRock having too much. The other one is there's only six pools that are mining Bitcoin, and those six, there's more than that, but those six pools control upwards of 80% of all the Bitcoin mining, right? That's another sort of dangerous thing because there's only six. And so, what would happen if some big swinging dick comes in and says, "Hey, I want to buy this pool or whatever." I'm gonna buy your mining equipment or whatever, right? It's like, I don't know. Those are just a couple of things that I see
But
that keep an eye on.
the pools are made of thousands of miners. Like if there's any shenaniganery, you'd have to orchestrate all of the miners in that pool, right?
Well,
Isn't that
not
the whole?
necessarily, but not necessarily. But I mean, there's the controlling interest in some of those things. They used to all be in China. Luckily, China said, "Pfft," and then they left. So I don't know. It's definitely a wild thing. I look at that and I say, hmm, 80. It's like 82% of all the miners are in those six pools. Like that doesn't seem decentralized to me as much as it should be. Probably right.
I I don't know. I think maybe perhaps we're not understanding Bitcoin completely because I think if you've got the miners can mine or not mine, they could use a pool or not use a pool. Don't you think that before you would have to have collusion amongst people who don't know each other? It's
Mhm.
decentralized. So how would that work? Explain that to me.
Well, it's like a funnel, though. It's like here's all these little miners and it's all funneling up into here. They're pooling that power, and there's only six of them.
Well,
That's to me,
six
it's like that's
pools, but
six.
but
Well, six
thousands
pools
and
that are
thousands of miners.
yeah, but a lot of those pools they're controlling shitloads of those miners. Uh, So I would probably need to dive in a little bit more to get granular into each pool because I don't mind Bitcoin, but I mean the fact that there's only six, that seems like those are some danger points potentially.
Well, and if as long as we're talking danger, Will Robinson, of course, quantum is still
Yeah.
allegedly a threat. Somebody breaking the cryptography, but it hasn't happened yet. So, okay, so the thing that people are watching, keeping their eye on, it's amazing how much of an effect the Fed has on the prices of stocks and gold and Bitcoin and all crypto. Most economists believe that the Fed is about to cut rates in September and then one more time this year. We are waiting to see what Jerome Powell says in his next speech. I believe does that happen this week still? When does Powell come out and he's like the groundhog? He comes out and he sees if he sees Trump's shadow or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't
Well,
like Trump doesn't like
it's
him.
happening in Jackson Hole. So
Okay.
hopefully Jackson has given permission to have Jerome enter his hole. But yeah, so it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen here. I don't know exactly when because I have reached my monthly limit of CoinDesk. So now I must sign up. All right. So also in the news, Wyoming has launched the very first US dollar stablecoin in a state. This is a state base. It's called FRNT, like Frontier, and it's going to be available on Kraken, on Solana, and they're doing it on 7 blockchains. So
Oh.
Wyoming, the very first public entity to issue blockchain-based stablecoin, launching that. That's pretty huge to know that they've announced the mainnet on just a couple days ago. Matter of fact, just yesterday. So big news, yeah, fully backed by US dollars and short duration treasuries held in a trust with a legislative mandate requiring 2% over collateralization. So there you go. It's going to be available on Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, Ethereum, Optimism, Polygon, Solana, and Yo Mama.
I mean, way to go, Wyoming, pioneering, leading the way. So nice to see. And there's only
That's
going to be
huge.
more of
That's such
this.
a cool news right there, dude. Really, it's like, wow.
I mean,
I
think,
mean, next is probably going to be a Texas one, probably, right?
yep,
Uh, you know,
maybe all of them. I mean, think about it. Again, adoption moves forward. These ups and downs really are so meaningless in the grand scope of things. If you look at where Bitcoin was, 4 years ago, and then 4 years before that, and 4 years before that, we know where this thing is going. If you want to trade and try and time the tops and the bottoms, good luck. But if you're in this for the long haul and you're able to lock up your Bitcoin for 10 years and not look at it and come back in 10 years, the odds of you being extremely delighted at what you've got are really looking really good just based on history here. Not
I'm
financial
delighted right
advice.
now. I'm
Are
delighted.
you?
I just took screenshots. I've figured out I'm gonna make a screen. I'm gonna make a thumbnail for this one. You're gonna be snow miser, and I'll be heat miser.
I love it.
We're gonna be the misers. And maybe at the end we put a little song. I had an idea for a song, so we'll put a
All right,
song at the end.
we'll put the song at the end. Let's carry on here. The SEC chair, very crypto friendly, Paul Atkins, teases private equity access for retail. This would say that the SEC would work to broaden access to investments typically reserved for accredited investors. The whole accredited investor thing really ticks me off, right?
Mhm.
Basically, the government is saying that there's certain things you can't invest in unless you can prove that you have a lot of money, right?
Right. Are
They
you rich
say
already? Well, then you can invest in this stuff. It's sort of almost like a it's kind of like racism. Like, oh, you're not rich enough. Sorry, you can't do that.
it's dollarism.
Yeah, it is. It's
Coin,
wealthism.
don't be
It's
coinist.
wealthism.
Wealthism. Don't be wealthist. But it's
Yeah,
kind of
what the
it's the
hell is that?
government
Hate that shit.
being it's the government being daddy and saying, hey, you might only, have a net worth of $250,000, but no, you can't invest. You
Yeah.
can't invest in this thing that's going to make people a lot of money because you might lose money, Junior. You
Yeah.
might lose money, and we're here to look out for you. What
Yeah.
happened to
Except
personal
you can do
responsibility?
pump.fun shit all day long because that doesn't matter. But
Not only that, you can buy lottery tickets. You can go to
yeah.
the casinos.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. That's very wealthist. It's very sort of global elite kind of a thing. It's like we don't want too many people to join our club. So, but dude, I tell you what, if this rule has cost me probably 2 or 3 million dollars in projects that I was like, oh, this is going to be a good one. I can't invest in it. Are you serious? It's cost me time and time again, and I'll always go back to Flow. Flow was you could buy Flow at 10 cents. Flow went up to $10. I knew Flow was going to go off because of NBA Top Shot at that time. Dude, I would have invested probably a 20 grand if I could have at that time. I
But
know
was
it would have
that
been awesome.
that
But
wasn't accreditation? That was because U.S. didn't allow
because
investment.
we're US. Yeah, you're a
Yeah.
US based citizen, can't do it. So it's like, yeah, screw me.
So the SEC overhauled some investor regulations in 2020 to emphasize financial knowledge and skill over net worth, broadening who could qualify as an accredited investor. So basically, it's still being daddy and saying, prove that you know what you're doing before we'll let you
Yeah.
put your money into it. I understand consumer protections and stuff. But whatever happened to personal responsibility? When I make bad decisions and I lose money, and it happens a lot, I
Hmm.
don't get to cry to anybody, and they take my money. No, I just have a big ass write off. That's what
Yeah.
I've got. So how am I protected?
Yeah. And
I'm
how
not.
and it seems like why would they even go after somebody like say like oh man I invest 10 grand in this thing, oh boom, now it's worth a couple $1 million, boom, oh well they're going to arrest you because you weren't a accredited investor. It's such a weird thing. There's seems like more important things to be focusing on. The spirit of it was back in the early days with the stock market and then the Ponzi schemes and the bullshit. They're trying to protect people from it. But now, come on, this is a whole different game.
Right. The bigger corruption comes, for example, in our Congress, our representatives
Right?
that are allowed to invest in the stock market, and they get the inside scoop. And come on, how did
Right.
Nancy Pelosi and all of these others
They
get
become
so wealthy?
accredited investors by insider trading.
Yeah. So, the question here in this article is posed is, should staff of the central bank be able to hold some crypto if they want to? Should they be cut out of the new money just because they work at the U.S. central bank? What do you think?
Mm. Dude, we're America. You should be able to hold a little crypto. Why should you not be able to hold a little crypto? I mean, if Congress, as you just said, if Congress can get insider information and then buy stocks, why can't these people hold crypto? It makes no sense. Because if they hold crypto, then they're probably going to be more open to crypto. Here's the thing: if you can't have crypto, they don't even research it why it's important because they can't even do anything with it.
Right.
money.
What a world we're living in. Just, go back a year and we're like, man, our government hates Bitcoin, hates crypto, is
Choke point
overregulating.
operations, dude,
Right.
killing it.
And now we have a president who's like all in, an administration that's all in. And what they're going to be able to do with this in the remaining 3.5 years he has in office is going to set the stage. They're not going to be able to roll this back because it's going to become so enmeshed in the financial systems that to roll it back would just create mass chaos. And that's
Mhm.
not going to happen.
Well, I mean, especially if he goes through with the, changing the voting systems. So it has to be paper ballots and stuff. They're kind of pushing that stuff through. So if that goes through, the left might not win elections anymore. I mean, they're gonna have to rebrand because it's really like global elites on the coast, global elite billionaires funding all this shit, and then finding loopholes to be able to make voting work in their favor, and it's not fair. Oh, I think he said he was gonna get rid of mail-in ballots and
Mhm.
some other stuff he's working on. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
mail-in ballots, voting machines that don't work right, and same-day voting and voter ID. Those are the things. You have all of that. Prove that you're a U.S. citizen. Here's your single paper ballot. You have to vote on the same day, unless it's a traditional absentee, like you're out of the country or whatever, and count paper ballots same day. There's no reason not to have it
No
done. And
reason
you're
not
right.
to.
When that
There is a
happens,
reason, and it's called manipulation. They want to manipulate it in their favor.
mhm,
But yeah, it's not good. All I want is fair. I want everything to be fair, and I want the truth to be the truth. And
of
so let's
course.
do that.
If they can put that in place before the midterms, the results are going to be so dramatic that there'll be two things. One, there'll be a huge awakening for many going, holy cow, the cheating has been that bad for so long. And then the opposition will come out and say every racist name they can.
No, they'll say that it was manipulation. And look, how did all these votes just disappear? No,
Right.
you guys are keeping the votes down. You guys are craziness. But yeah,
It's,
there we go.
it's
Fix
important
it.
that they lose.
Fix it. That's all we gotta do.
I'm not interested in talking about Bitcoin treasuries anymore. Instead, I want to talk about me. Can I talk about me?
Sure, go ahead.
So, yeah, you're like, fine, you're going to anyway, Dick. So, I was on this cruise um, last month, and it was a pretty lengthy cruise. Aaron and I sailed up to Greenland and Iceland. We actually planted we got a little guy from Iceland. He's like a little gnome, and
Mm,
he's really cool looking. And we found some toothpicks that had American flags on them. So we took pictures of him. His name is Bert Humpeldink, by the way. And
okay.
we took pictures of Bert with the American flags in Greenland. We planted the flags. We were claiming it for the United States.
That's
And
nice.
and then we did it in Canada too, because Canada
I
will be
do
the
want to say this
31st.
about Greenland. I think Greenland is the biggest troll of all time because it was like some Vikings that were like, you know what, we should call this Greenland and we should call Iceland Iceland because Iceland is green and Greenland is ice. Like
Yeah.
dude, somebody did that. I don't even know who, Leif Erikson
It
or
was Leif
somebody.
Erikson. Yeah,
Was it
they
Leif
wanted
Erikson?
to throw people off. They're going to be
Oh
looking
yeah.
for the ice. And we saw whales. It was amazing.
Oh
Anyway,
man.
I don't mean Bitcoin whales either. I mean real whales.
Yeah.
So, but while on the boat, there was a speaker. They have these, what do they call them? Enrichment speakers on cruise ships. And most of them, they have special sessions where they'll tell you about the region you're going to. And they had one, though, that was just an outside of regional, and the guy was speaking on AI. I didn't go to it, but my understanding is that it didn't go over well. I don't know if the guy scared the people on the boat because there was a lot of older people on the boat, or if it was confusing or highly technical. But that's when it dawned on me, Travis, ding, dawned on me that I've made a whole career out of making seemingly complex subject matter easy for people to understand on a real basic level. And
Mhm.
so I decided to start a new show, and it's called AI for Everyone. and they're short episodes, 5 to 10 minutes, not interviews. It's just like me showing people how to do stuff that we think is super simple. But the over 55 crowd, a lot of them are confused. They're
Oh yeah.
scared by AI, and they don't realize how much fun they could have with this stuff. So I encourage you guys, invite you to go to AIforeveryOneShow.com, and it's on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. And Travis, you inspired me with the Pixar looking characters. I feel like that's a really good look on me. Do you like how I look as a?
Yeah, you look. What's the first one you did? Was kind of an illustrated one, illustrated one.
Yeah, a little more illustrated. That's just the welcome
Yeah,
episode. And,
that's just fun, dude. I mean, it's so amazing with these different tools. Yeah, this will be a fun show for you. Plus, you'll get to do some cool stuff with that, I'm sure, because there's a lot of people out there who are like, dude, I don't get it. There was a big report that just came out from the National Crypto Association talking about the same group of people. They're like people who don't non-crypto holders. They're confused. They're scared. They don't know how to. Non-AI users. They're scared. They don't know what it is. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to stay safe. They're scared of it. So, in the spirit of all the things that you've done in the past, including bad crypto, it's helping people understand what it's all about.
well, and think about Granny. Think about Granny out there, right? Who's hearing about AI, but then you show her how she can use Chat GPT to write a cool story for one of her grandkids, or take an old photo memory and animate it and bring it to life. All of a sudden, now you're making it personal. It's like, oh, I can do that. Well, what if I could do this? And now you've got them thinking about what they
Mhm.
could do with it. So,
It'll spawn their creativity in a lot of ways, man. Like, some of these AIs, I'll have conversations with. Like, I found a couple of GPTs, and I've created a couple of GPTs where I pulled in a bunch of information, dude. And matter of fact, just as an example, last night I created a fasting GPT for myself. He's more of like a drill sergeant,
mm,
and it's like whenever I'm doing a lot, because my goal is I want to start doing longer fasts, because I'll fast pretty much every day doing intermittent fasting, but I need to do like a 3 day fast regularly. I'd really like to do Monday. I'd like to do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I call it the WTF diet, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and but fast, once a month like that. And but I like, oh, I'm feeling hungry, and they're like, give me some tips. I'll put in a bunch of books from that I downloaded around fasting to give me good insights and stuff. It's like your little brainstorm buddies, man. It's like you got little
hmm
but like imagine being in an old folks home. People in the old folks homes are so lonely. Like they need like AI companions to at least chat with them, and but it could be like, oh, it's the 1940s Chat GPT, and so he's like making Chat GPT references from the 1940s. Like, it's like you could entertain them and help them not feel so lonely. That's good.
Exactly. That's what I hope to do. So please, guys, go check it out. It's always hard getting a new show started. AIforeveryOneShow.com. If you don't mind, go and subscribe, leave a review, tell the world. And Trav, you picked up on this story here about AI. What's this all about?
Yeah, so AI videos are getting so hard to detect if it's real or not. You know what I mean? Like,
We need to too, because there's going to be like stuff that ends up going to court, right? You're going to see a
yeah,
murder, for example, and somebody's going to have a murder pinned on them, and it never actually happened.
they're almost, in my opinion, there should be some sort of rule on the technology where maybe they put like a nearly invisible or imperceptible to the naked eye kind of watermark on them anytime these things are created, so that it's like, here's who created it. Like, there's got to be some provenance on these things, but luckily they got a new tool out called Universal. It's a detector that will tell you if this video is fake or not, because a lot of times society is just not ready for this kind of it looks so good, and it got so good so quick. I mean, just a couple of years ago, we were looking at this sort of mongoloid version of Will Smith eating spaghetti, and now it's just like he can eat spaghetti, and you got a voice of him eating. You're hearing him talk, and like it's almost imperceptible. Now, imagine if you're an older folk with some bad vision, and you're like, "Wow, that's completely real." Matter of fact, I just got bamboozled the other day on this one video that was Tesla stopped a Cybertruck deactivated a Cybertruck in the middle of the road because it used some copyright violation or something. And I watched it on my small phone, and I saw it. And I was like, holy shit! There was a dude talking about it, and he like, this is the whole thing, and like it showed the screenshot of it. It was fake, and I was like, wow, dude! Like they are getting so good. Holy shit!
Yeah. And of course, there's privacy concerns around all this as well. There's this story here about AI browser assistants causing privacy concerns. So if you've installed some sort of plugin on Chrome in your browsers, what could be happening?
Yeah. Well, especially like ChatGPT and DeepSeek and some of those other ones. And what was nice, if you scroll down on that, it says the only one that they found that isn't doing it is Perplexity. And Perplexity is my favorite one. Like of all of the tools, I use Perplexity multiple times every day. Matter of fact, they just launched their new Comet browser, which is basically a Chrome browser that has a Perplexity assistant. So literally, I can just pop it open, ask questions about whatever I'm viewing right there. It'll read it, and it can do all kinds of tasks. Like I think the future is, AI powered browsing is definitely going to be a thing. I can unleash it on in LinkedIn, and it can start doing all these tasks for me and stuff. Pretty phenomenal. But I would say that not all of them are good when it comes to security or privacy. I was glad to see that Perplexity had a thumbs up, at least according to that source.
It does not perplex me at all.
Yeah. I mean, Perplexity all day. I literally have it on the front of my screen. I go boop, turn it on. Hey, I want a Perplexity for my like Apple Play or my Google Play to be able in my car, right? Because I'm like literally just be able to go, hey, Perplexity, boop. And then I shouldn't have to mess with my phone, but they say, oh, that's not secure. It's not good. Like, no, it's way better than me grabbing my phone, which I'm going to do and say, hey, Perplexity, blah, blah, blah. Just let me talk to it on my car. I want Jarvis. Give me Jarvis.
Good show, sir. I'll bring you whatever you need.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's the roundup from the week, gang. And it's not like we sprayed it on the lawn or anything.
Yeah.
Get it? Roundup.
That's good. That's good. And then
No
here
pesticides.
We're gonna have a song about I'm Mr. Bad Crypto.
Oh, you guys are going to like this. Stay tuned after the disclaimer. It's like, look, I'm going to call it an Easter egg. We're going to train you guys to make sure you listen all the way through, because sometimes stuff shows up after the disclaimer. You'd like tune out. You're like, this is a production of Bad Crypto, and you're like, okay, it's over. Not always. Not always. We could be giving out Bitcoin after the disclaimer. I mean, we're not, but we could be.
We could have been back in the day. We could have been.
We could have.
Not so much now.
Thanks for listening. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe, review, share, tell a friend, pet your dog. Make sure that you clean under your armpits and stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.
I'm Mr. Buy High, I'm Mr. Sell Low. I really want to cry, 'cause I'm bad at crypto. They told me to hodl, but I sold it all. Bitcoin to the moon, but I sold too soon. I'm Mr. FOMO, I'm Mr. Meme, chasing every token, living the dream. Mr. Buy High, I'm Mr. Sell Low. I really want to cry, cause I'm bad at crypto. They told me to hodl, but I sold it